test, and we are good to go. Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Sorry about the late night stream here today. I just got back from the hospital, hanging out with my mom for most of the day. Pretty good day. She's getting released tomorrow, so it'll be a busy day tomorrow, but a good one here. Loki wants to say hello. He kind of does. He's kind of wanting to jump, but at the same time hesitant because he knows he's not supposed to jump unless he's given the command. Up. And there he goes. So Loki says hello as he tries to lick my face. Yeah? Yeah. He's wondering if he can get a treat, but no treat for Loki today. He had a treat literally 5 minutes ago. Okay. Hope you guys are all doing okay. I know it's gonna be a little bit of a late night crowd here today, but there's a few things I wanted to talk to you guys about. To start things off here today, got a new sponsor here. Go check them out, Tatbit. They're a really good new exchange. They have a lot of new features and stuff like that, so I encourage you guys to go give them a look. Thank you for subscribing, Brian. I do appreciate it a lot here. So, a few things to kick it off. Like I just said, my mom's in the hospital still, but she should be getting out tomorrow. They're giving her an MRI. They just gave her a CAT scan, so she should be out tomorrow, so that'd be really good news. Actually, I still got the hospital tag on my hand from here, hanging out with her all day. And hey, Chef, happy to see you back. I know you'd be here for the late night streams. A few things before we started over to crypto, though, guys. Oil prices just broke out. This is interesting. So, you guys know I've been religiously buying oil stocks for a while now, and they've still been doing me right with those dividends. But now you're starting to see some breakouts with actual oil stocks themselves. So, I'll talk about it a little bit more for members like you, Chef. Over the next few days, I'm going to be giving out some oil plays because it looks like we're having some short-term breakouts, which could be very, very nice here. Right now, you guys can see that oil price is actually breaking out a little bit here. We had this big kind of wall. I was thinking maybe we get rejected again because, come on, guys, you know, resistance, 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 resistance. There's no way we're going to break out all within 1 week, and all of a sudden, boom, we just had a mega breakout due to some coups in Africa. A lot of the economy is still doing fine, and China not doing great, but not terrible, I guess you could say. And hey, Larry, happy to see you back. Hope you're doing well, my man. Hope you found some ETFs, because I still have not found any good India ETFs for I mean, there's India ETFs, but they're not they're not weighted as heavily in the areas that I want them to be. You along the UCO 3X crude oil ETF? That's a good place to be, especially because I think that one has a good dividend layer too. Look at this, guys. We were so close to breaking out last time. We actually, did we break out? I think we did break out. Yeah, we broke out to a new high right here. And what do I normally say? Once you break out, it is easier to get that next level. But you know how volatile this can be, because usually whenever we get up to these levels, there's some big news announcement saying, hey, oil is going to be going back down or something like that, or OPEC's doing more oil. Had that clean breakout right there, and we're off to the races, guys. Oil prices are going to get more expensive here, or they are getting more expensive. You're going to see gas prices get more expensive here. I wonder how that's going to trickle into other energy sectors. So maybe oils and stuff like that for heating the home are going to get a little bit more expensive here as well. But people are just going to have a little bit less money in their pocket as the gas prices go back up. I think right now gas is kind of going steady, because as you guys can see, the last few weeks gas prices have pretty much remained the same. Next week, you might see gas prices starting to creep back up a little bit more, which is going to be a little bit rough here. So we'll see. And hey, Larry, up 50%. Dude, that is some great gains right there. I don't know. I love oil stocks. My personal favorite, you guys know, is PXD. It finally had a breakout today, and I was very happy with it. But I'm more in it for the dividends, but I'm really happy about that one here. I think Dr. V is also in that one as well. Information about Bitcoin. As far as Bitcoin's concerned, it's not doing anything crazy. It looks like it wants to fall. It's so weird because, okay, you guys know about a few days ago, even a couple weeks ago, I was still saying overall, I thought Bitcoin was pretty bearish and I thought we were going to eventually break down, right? So if you go over to the weekly chart, I was pointing out different things like, hey, the MACD is crossovering. We have a, this is a typical MACD, not my particular MACD, my custom MACD, I should say. You can see, I want to get these crosshairs off. They look so freaking ugly. There you go. You can see those lower highs here, higher highs here. That's a nasty divergence. I was like, oh, that doesn't look too good for us. Then I was pointing out over here, stochastic. Oh, that doesn't look too good. The real stochastic. Oh, I got rid of the other stochastic. But you can see the momentum coming back down here. This is the impulse right here, or the squeeze. There's some divergence right there as well. So, you know, but, you know, really, I'd just be looking at the MACD one. So I was kind of like, I don't really like what's going on right now, but I'm still kind of watching. And what did I say? I said the only way I think we're really going to have a good time is if news came in here. And I mean, lo and behold, news came in. But I mean, what the tragic thing about all this, let's go over here to the 2-hour chart. News came in and then we got dumped anyway. And so I go back to that initial thing like, hey, I'm still kind of bearish on Bitcoin for right now. I'm hoping things get a little bit stronger. Like, this is what Dogecoin does. This is what Pepe does. This is what ADA does or an XRP does. This isn't what Bitcoin normally does. And so it was just very, very weird. Am I not getting enough signal in? Oh, the signal picked back up. Okay. But yeah, so it's a very weird thing to see Bitcoin go through this. And I think that's kind of because what the dollar is doing right now. So if you guys go over here to the dollar, let's go over here to the weekly chart. Dollar is getting some strength all of a sudden, right? We're seeing the dollar also have a breakout here. We're going to see how much further that wants to go. First week after the breakout, and we held. Now, we had a lot of freaking instability there. Let me go over to the 4-hour chart. See, we ended up coming back down, then eventually getting back up. But we did have that breakout. We're still going higher. The dollar may start to get a little bit more stronger here, and that's a little bit of a concern. Like, let me get out of all this other crap. I think this is a GAN fan or a GAN box on here. Okay, at this point in time, we do see, like maybe even if I put this one right here, maybe even this one would help out a little bit. Yeah, no matter how you're looking at it, we're having a breakdown right here out of a falling, there we go. How would I want to do that? Maybe something more like that. But anyway, you can see we clearly have a breakout on the dollar. If that dollar gets to get a little bit more stronger here, that's going to be very concerning to me. Now, this is a weekly chart here. I'm a big proponent, as I always say, of moving averages. But we're going to have another golden cross here pretty soon with the moving averages. I was thinking that this dollar rally was over, right? I was like, okay, inflation's down, everything's getting back to normal, maybe the economy's going to pick back up, and things are going to be really good. Everyday people are still really suffering, so I guess the economy didn't really get back to that good spot. I was kind of trusting CNBC and Fox Business, but maybe not the best sources of information there. But, you know, the last time we had a golden cross was way up here. Last time we had a golden cross is way up here. Last time we had a golden cross is way over here. So, you know, maybe it's going to be something more of this where we kind of teeter up back up a little bit, make another high. No, we're not even going to make another high. We're just going to go back up a little bit. Usually golden crosses are usually pretty big move indicators there. So I'm just like, oh, okay, now we're looking at that all over again, which is pretty interesting because you just you didn't really expect that to happen as much. And then of course, if you want to mix in oil in here as well, we see oil breaking out and going to a new high for the year. I think, yeah, this was January, excuse me. Yeah, January started right here. We're at a new high yearly for oil. We haven't been to this level, I guess, since back over here in November of last year. So we're starting to pick back up. I don't think we're going all the way back to the highs we saw back over here of last year. But, I mean, there's a good case to be made that you will see oil prices at least try to get back up here to 93. And then, of course, we'll probably get rejected. But maybe if we, drag this along a little bit, if we're being honest about oil, we might just see it pick back up. And then we're in a new sorry, guys, it's late for me. I spent the whole day at the hospital. A new channel. Oh, Jesus. A new channel right there. So that's going to be interesting. Now, if we break out above this, I'm going to personally be stunned because this is such a solid support level now, resistance level. You can see rejection here, and rejection here. If we break out above that, even if it's like sometime in October of this year, I'm gonna be like, something's going on with the oil markets here. But I don't know specifically what's causing oil to rise up this much. I know there's been some coups in Africa. There's been some energy problems because of that. Niger was more of a uranium type of thing, but Gabon is more heavily rich oil country. So if they're not exporting any more oil, The former French colonies are really just giving the middle finger to France right now. And France is, who's that president? Macron. He is ticked off, but he can't just go on and invade them because then it's like, oh, the colonizers coming back to invade. So it's all over the place here. But we're definitely seeing, some interesting things here. Do I have any XRP for the Evernode airdrop? I do not have any XRP for that, and I have XRP, but I don't know if I'm using it for any specific type of drop. Normally, I just hold it into a wallet, but I mean, personally, I've had XRP for so long. I sold about 25% of it off of that pop we saw when the news came out. Pretty much 50% of the profit has been put back into XRP already, and I'm already up with more tokens, you know, overall. And I kept some profit there for taxes and whatnot. But I don't really have anything for anything like that. No, it's just holding, being boring with it, you know, the boring method there. Let me see right here. How am I feeling about Doge? You know, Doge has been very weird, but if you kind of look at it, it's been the most resilient thing ever. Maybe that's just because it fell down kind of a similar amount to some of these other tokens, but like if you go from its all-time highs or the 2021 rally highs to where we are now, it's already come down a lot. Personally, if you're thinking longer term, because I am more bearish long term, I still think we're probably going to dump, unfortunately. I'm hoping that you see this this green line right here, the 20-month moving average. Excuse me, I'm hoping we have an opportunity to break back above that, honestly. But my concern is that we're going to eventually, you know, break down a little bit more, maybe head back down here to 0.028, so maybe around 3 cents or so. But, you know, you go over here and you see the highs up there to where we currently are now. It's down about 90%, right? Down about 90%. It's come down a lot. It's nowhere near where it was back over here pre-COVID, but it's still come down a lot, right? If you come over here to something like an ADA, it pretty much matches up with it, right? ADA is somewhere around here, 91%. So it's done better than ADA. And, you know, Dogecoin went up a lot compared to a lot of other tokens. I mean, a lot. So the fact that it's actually like matching with some of these other tokens is actually crazy. It's one of the reasons I like it so much, and that's mostly because you guys know what's going on with Elon, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, Tesla stuff. There's some good stuff there. But if you know, go over here to Ape token, you see what's happening since it's high up here. It's down 95%. That extra 5% is a lot, okay? Now, it doesn't seem like it, but it is. You got Bitcoin Cash over here. Bitcoin Cash is one of those weird ones that didn't actually go to a new high, but regardless, you know, when it came down here, it was down about 94%. Now it's only down about 88%, but 88%. Matic, this is one of those ones that's been holding on very long, but you guys know how I feel about Matic. So we're going to come down here. It's down about 81%. Matic is going to have a huge flush here pretty soon, in my opinion. But for now, as far as Dogecoin is concerned, it's really just holding on to a massive level of support, and it's been holding on to this support level for over a year now of holding, with some pops every now and again, but really just holding on to a massive level of support. I was going over here, I think it was, I don't think it was with you guys, it might have been with a friend or something. Here's a weekly chart for Dogecoin. I wish I had a different chart that kind of had that 200 kind of going a little bit further, but here we go. You can almost imagine that there's a death cross is happening right there, right? You go over here to the MACD. The MACD is so wild because of how crazy that move was. So now we're trying to figure out what to do with it. You can see there's a little bit of a divergence right there. You see the bearish crossover right here. The bearish crossovers don't really do much for Dogecoin. They don't, so I don't usually care about the MACD too much. My personal MACD is a little bit different. It hasn't had that crossover yet, but even then you can see there was that false signal there, and the false signal right there as well. If anything, I do like this one a little bit better because you see those higher highs, and those lower highs. That bullish divergence can really make me happy here over the next few weeks. Things like XRP still going up, but you see that that crossover incoming right here. This is my personal one, so the regular MACD probably already has the crossover. Yeah, it already has the crossover right there. But you see XRP is breaking down as well. So, you know, we're seeing a whole bunch of stuff here causing us some issues. And again, my big concern is everything is kind of at this large level of support. Maybe some weaker altcoins have actually already broken down. I think I showed ADA the last time. No, it wasn't ADA. Oh, Ape. Sorry, it was another A. You got stuff like Ape token. There you go. Where it doesn't really have a support level right now. It's just going down and down and down and down. AXS, right, getting close to that flush point. Bitcoin Cash, oh, that's not a good example here because I already had that big pop. Let me go down here. Luna, maybe Luna's not a good example too after all the drama. Solana, oh man, fuck, these flies are gonna kill me. I'm kill them. But what do you call it? It's been driving me nuts. What do you call Mana? Flush point right here. Sand actually broke down already. Spell token already broke down right there. Sushi about to break down again, but see how I had that support level and it broke down. I'm thinking of what, like, I think Dogecoin's gonna look something similar to this over the next few months. UFO token coming down slowly. That's a Bitcoin. ID token breaking down below support levels here. It's up 22% today, so it's like kind of messing with that math here. This is a big day trading token, so people really like to hop into this one. That's, if you want to play with it, definitely go for it. It's a pretty fun one. Usually what you want to do is you just want to short it down after it gets to a certain high. It had a nice little run right there. That's the last time I traded it, was over here. Then all of a sudden it crashed and gave right back all the gains, like literally all of them. So it should crash back down here if you can withhold those shorts. Arbitrum, let's go back over here to the weekly chart, just kind of show you those support levels. Support level broken from over here. Pepe token, support level broken. So you're seeing all these breakdowns happen in altcoins, but people aren't really thinking about it too much because you're thinking like, oh, Bitcoin's been doing great. Look at Bitcoin. Whoa, hoo, hoo. So what happens when all those things are already, or that have already broken down or breaking down currently, or like really close to breaking down? What happens if Bitcoin just comes back down over here to like 22,000? What happens? They break down too, and they flush. So Bitcoin will be fine. Ethereum will be fine. But everything else, there's going to be some pain there. And that's part of the process of, I guess, going into altcoins. But I guess that's why we say dollar cost averaging is usually the safest way. And of course, over here, let me just add a trend line for you guys. All right. We don't really talk about that trend line right there. It's not too important, but, you know, it's something to keep an eye on. Even if I go over here to the Coinbase one, which is, you know, the longer term one. Let's go over here to the monthly chart. A few different ways you could look at this, I suppose. You know, the one that I think we probably would have talked about the most over the past few years is, you know, we don't talk about it often, but there's that one. Remember, we broke down, came down. It's a weird breakdown because this was really caused more by FTX than technicals, but we broke down. We popped back up. You can see the breakout above the 50-month moving average, tried to break back up above the 20. Then all of a sudden we're gliding back down here to where we are. And now we're looking at that death cross here. But you can see how we kind of just basically got rejected off of that trend line right there. Now, go back a little bit further. You have a few different options if you just want to do the most basic of trend lines. I'm talking about the most basic. If you're thinking that somehow Bitcoin is just going to have the most catastrophic fall ever, and, you know, you don't have any crypto because you're just sure that sometime next year that the world is going to end in a way that drops crypto down like 75% from where it is now, then you're pretty much using this plus some other longer term support levels, right? That support level is like way down here towards $9,000-$10,000. Can it happen? Oh, definitely. Will it happen? Who knows? But you can see right here, you know, if you turn the log on, then it's all the way back down here to 6,000. So I'm kind of more like, let's wait and see how it works out here. For me, for somebody that's kind of been in crypto for a while, as much as crypto, like if Bitcoin keeps falling and falling and falling and falling and falling, and I'm just gonna keep on buying and buying and buying, because I know it's gonna come back. I know there's a lot of institutional money behind it. I know it's gonna be fine, but how far it comes down, it's gonna be a test for a lot of people out there. And then the last one right here is going to be just your simple one right there to right here. You have that one coming up, which is going to be pretty interesting. I think people are just getting a little bit more worried about the stock market too. So if I go over here to SPY very fast, let's go maybe to the daily chart. Which one was it? How was it? What was in my head earlier? Was it weekly chart? Oh yeah, there's two things that could be coming this way for this SPY, which concerns me because I like this SPY a lot. I usually use it a lot. So you can see this top to top. Maybe we don't break out above that, and maybe we end up getting rejected. But this could actually end up being over the next few weeks a double top from here to here where we start to break down. This is my number one big concern. That's why I was talking to members last week, and I was like, hey, get ready for like maybe a more curvature move. I think it would probably happen more next week than the week after that, but I guess we'll have to see and wait. But really watching that support level there, more importantly than that, the 20-week moving average. However, going back to Bitcoin here, let's go back over to the monthly chart. Nope, wrong monthly chart. I need to go back to this one. Sometimes I think we just forget these basics. Not talking about you, just in general. Go all the way back over here to 2011. You know, if you wanted to use this as a support level, that support level is kind of around $6,000. Are we going to $6,000? No. But, you know, you go back in time a little bit. What happened here? We didn't really hit the bottom of that one at all, right? So maybe it'll just be a little bit above that. And again, you know, that's more of around like the $10,000 range if you're really getting pessimistic about the market. Move this up a little bit higher. Back over here. Look at that. matches up perfectly. I think there's been more traders involved in Bitcoin since 2015 as well. I don't think it was as mainstream back over here in 2013, 2011. I think people were buying it, but I don't think there was as much access to the Binance and the futures and the leverage trading that we really have today. But so this is the one I'd probably be using. Look for that support around the 16,500 level. This is probably going to be a lot of people buying around there. My really big concern here is that if I'm thinking like long term here, I'm still assuming we're going to flush down here. Okay, maybe we hold this level, but if we don't hold this level there, I don't think we're coming all the way back down here to 6,000. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm kind of afraid of, actually, I could just move it right here because then you have a good idea of that middle point right there. Kind of like maybe around here, around 10,605, maybe around there. Because that kind of gets a lot of people freaking out about a flush. Normally what I like to do with Bitcoin, and I guess I haven't talked to you guys about this in a while, but what I tend to do is, well, let me go back to my main point here. Let's get rid of the other one first. Okay. That sets us up for having more bullish activity, really going into maybe Q2, Q3, Q4, like a swath, because I'm not really specific here. A bullish opportunity down there, which kind of makes sense with the halving and stuff like that. But what would be happening during that is most likely all the death crosses that we're kind of about to experience over here if we do have this flush because the dollar is going higher and stuff like that. Again, not breaking down below that, I'm not assuming that. But all those moving averages are probably going to have some really fun times way over here. But that's next summer. And we have to wait to see if we actually have that bad time or not. At this point, the economy is still good enough for me to say, hey, we're probably not looking for that. But here's something I'll do very fast for you. So let me go over here. This is a weekly chart. Let's add the Fibonacci levels right there. Let's add this on right here. Okay. I like to look for little clusters, Fibonacci retracements. Okay, those are the same number. That's good. Let's go over here. Okay, and oh, should I go back over here? I mean, nah, it should be fine for now. Let's just go all the way back over here. Okay. Now you see all these. You can see how you had a little cluster right there. This was used at this point, so you disregard everything you see over here. Even if there's patterns, you disregard it. We didn't hold this one. I'm pretty convinced that we didn't hold this one just because it was an epic event known as like the Celsius crash, the BlockFi crash, stuff like that. But you know, we'll see. We didn't even really hold over here because the FTX, you see how we actually broke down below it, then we came back above it. You know, that was ended up being the support level. Now that next cluster again is coming back over here. After that, the next cluster is $11,500 to $10,000. If you're really looking for the ultimate bottom and you really think there's going to be not a mild recession but a more severe recession, I would say that's probably your best bet there. If there's something I've learned kind of through this weird little bear market, bull market thing we've seen in the stock market, any type of crazy recession that we experience, it is going to be a whiplash effect from you're not going to have much time as I thought to actually buy assets, which is very confusing to me a little bit. Because what did we see this time? You know, Facebook is a great example. You know, I told you guys I was buying Facebook when it was crashing, Amazon was crashing. They've all done really well, but I thought they might have crashed more, so I had more money kind of waiting in reserves for it. I almost went to hedge fund mode because I didn't invest like I should have. Look at Meta. This is the weekly chart for Meta. You see how freaking crazy this went? Within 273 days, we crashed. About 73%. Meta crashed. Okay, this is a stock. This is a company that they say is not like cryptocurrencies and stuff, right? And look what happened. And I mean, not even from the all-time highs. The all-time highs, it crashed 77%. You know, add like an extra 10% and you got like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies right there. That's how crazy this was. But again, just like cryptocurrencies, what happened? Whoop, ran up 270%. So I don't think we're going to have those great opportunities to buy like we did before, which is going to be unfortunate. You know, you go back in time and you look at the financial crisis, like for Nvidia and stuff like this. Let me go back over here. I know there's splits kind of all over the place now. You had some time to buy. You had plenty of time to buy before the big rally started. Look at this. You had years, like literally years to buy before the big rally started in the stock market. Again, Trump kind of came in here and changed some laws up, kind of lowered some taxes for businesses. So it was kind of a economic thing as well. Kind of like just like he kind of kicked the economy's ass and said like do something. You know that meme. But you know, even got over here Tesla. Well, actually, I don't know. Yeah, Tesla's not a good example. It wasn't on Google. Is good. Google's a good one. Okay. You had a while to buy this stuff up before the gravy train really started to go into gear. I don't think we're having that this time. I think the next time we go into recession, it's going to be a big drop. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, the worst is over. There's still so much stimulus in the system. Let's just go on ahead and buy everything we want to. It's only going to go up. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen here. So no matter what type of altcoin you're looking for, there's going to be a moment where all hope is lost and you just got to buy it. Well, I'd be doing that more specifically with Bitcoin and Ethereum and the Dogecoin ADA, the Maddox, Bitcoin Cash type stuff. But I'll still be buying smaller market caps like STMX or things of that nature. So yeah, you know, take your time with it. Even taking off log here. There you go. Right, come all the way down over here. You can see these clusters a little bit differently. Let me go over here to the daily chart. So cluster, you could, if you bought around there, you're fine. Cluster, if you buy around there, you're fine. Well, so wait. You only hit the cluster on the first time it goes to the support level. Only the first time. Second time, it's much easier for it to break down. First time over here, cluster. Second time over here, it actually worked out. I was surprised, right? Over here, third time, then it messed up. First time over here, you buy over here, you're making some money. Not as much money, but again, you know, it works out. Cluster over here, you buy. Cluster over here, don't buy. Although that was a low point. Again, I was thinking back over here that we're going to be breaking down below $15,000. But again, FTX crash kind of messes up everything. Look at those 2 days of FTX crashing. Talk about traumatic for a lot of people, including me, right? And now, you know, we've kind of gone back up, so we have already hit these clusters. But what happens over here? I'm probably not going to buy these clusters. I would probably buy them if we come back over here to maybe $15,000. But after that, you know, then we really don't have much because then we're like the log mode, excuse me. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. But, you know, the cool thing about all this is, let me go back over to the weekly chart actually. When you add Fibonacci levels and stuff like this on, there's always more Fibonacci levels. It's just kind of how many you want to see on your screen. I think maybe all of you guys at some point have gone to the settings tab and you're like, why do all these here? Why should I use them? Well, you can open them up and see if there's been any use to them. So like maybe we're at the lower point right here. Let's go up this one right here. No, we would have to go back to ones. Oh, I might have gotten one of the taller ones. Oh, let me get a log. That's what it is. All right. There we go. What's the lowest one I can find? I guess, yeah, one. No. Am I blind or something? What the hell's happening? Okay, there it is. I was losing it for a second. Okay, it's way, way down here. That's why I'm not seeing it. Don't have to worry about that one. 3. No, 3 is so much lower. Okay, we don't have to worry about many of these then. I would have to go to one of these at the top. Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. Okay, if I really wanted to do it that way, and you wanted to go like use these in a different way. Okay, yeah, okay, sweet. I'd have to go old fashioned, like, okay, so you see how there's actually like Fibonacci levels that go all the way down here. So then you might be looking at something more of a $12,000 here. See the little thing right there, some support right there, of course, from that support, some support right there, some support right there, yada, 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 some support right there. Better for daily charts if you ask me. But if I add in here now I can actually add stuff in here. There we go. Right, held on for a couple weeks, held on right there a little bit more. There's one that comes way down here. The rest of them are going to appear way too far down, so it's not worth me even showing you. I would really have to do this. Wow. Yeah, and there you go for that one. But it's not important that you guys look at this type of stuff. My main point being, yeah, there's plenty more we can go down and stuff like that. But I just want to see us hold on to this support level that we have. I'm very nervous that we're actually just going to break down below this support and we start to flush. And that flush will last for a few months or so, where we start continuing to go down and down and down. And then if the economy stays okay, we actually will probably have already reached the bottom somewhere around 16,000. If things could drop below that, maybe 15,000 at the worst. At the worst. If we go into a full-blown recession, then you're looking more at that $10,000 level where things are going to look very bleak. People are going to be whining on TikTok and Twitter. Everybody that owns cryptocurrencies, we're going to be the butt of so many jokes for a few months if that does happen, but it's the way of the world. You're probably going to see, you know, a lot of crypto influencers freaking out and doing all types of crazy stuff to get your attention at that point. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. But yeah, and then all of a sudden, you know, talking about like quarter 2, 3, 4 of 2024, you're going to see the market stabilize maybe in Q2, then really pick up steam in Q3, Q4. Not all-time high steam up, but like, we're cooking here, and everybody gets really happy. But again, if we're in a recession, we're probably not going to reach all-time highs again. What you're probably going to reach is something more of sometime next year, 40 to 50,000 in 2025, because everybody will kind of have a little more money, more institutions will be more raring in there. Again, depending on how they want to do this V-shaped recovery or not, then you're looking more at, you know, all-time highs in 2020, late 2024 or 2025. I really have no idea how fast Bitcoin's going to pick up, though, because all these regulations are going to be important. If we have regulations at that point, I have fucking no idea. It's been kind of a crazy time. Heck, even look at, what was it, just on the Coinbase one? Look how fast Apple can drop in just 3 weeks. I think people just seem to forget this. Fell down 12% in 3 weeks. These stocks are not stable. When people like just don't want them, they crash hard. So just don't forget that. I know we're looking at some good times right now, but they can drop hard if they want to. Even what's that one stock I was talking to you guys about the other day? I was making fun of all the woke companies and how they were kind of doing stuff. Oh, there it is, Warner Brothers. Even Warner Brothers just had bad earnings. They're breaking down below their support right now. They have one more support around $11 here. But you know, companies that play politics, whether it's conservative or liberal, they're just kind of getting walloped right now. But I mean, look at this. Let's go back to the monthly chart. They're below COVID levels. They're way below that. They broke down a long time ago. We're talking about 2008 financial crisis levels for Warner Bros. Discovery. From a not from a technical aspect, but from a fundamental aspect, their biggest mistake was actually acquiring, working with acquiring CNN. That really messed them up because CNN isn't a properly run news organization. I think they have the lowest views of the big three, the lowest ratings. I think there's like Fox News is #1. Then you got MSNBC, then you got CNN. I think CNN is only viewed as that place you go when there's a big natural disaster, not so much for political talk anymore, because they seem to be I don't know. CNN just doesn't seem like a trustworthy place for political news, if that makes sense. I think that's the gist I get with people. Like, even my friends on the left and on the right, we all kind of just give our middle finger to CNN. But if there's a crisis, there's a crisis. But let's go over here to talk about Tesla for a second. You know, then we're also answering some of you guys' questions again. Remember how fast this fell from the all-time highs? Look at this. I mean, not fast, but like this. It fell down 75%. Right? Even, oh, let's get this back over here. There you go. Over here on this last drop that we had over maybe a couple week period of time, like a month of time, we dropped 30%. These companies can drop so fast, and it's just so confusing that they can do this, right? Faith can fall so fast. Like, these companies can fall out of favor so fast these days. I mean, like, just wait to see what Nvidia does here pretty soon, right? Within a few weeks, this thing dropped down a lot here too, as people lost favor before they got the big news again and stuff like that. They fell down 16% in a month. You know, those are crypto prices, guys. I mean, that's what crypto does. So we're looking at a bunch of weird stuff here. If you want something to trade, oil. If you want something to hold for a very long time, cigarettes. Philip Morrison is always good. But oil, you know, get ready for some breakouts here. Should be pretty fun. If you want something to short, Macy's, Nordstrom's, geez, these poor companies. Something I'm watching out for is Netflix. Netflix should not be this high. It should not. And you could already see this trend right here. Basically, we've already broken down over here. Let's go back over here. This is the next one. We already broke out of it. We broke down there. Broke down there. This thing kind of has a mind of its own, which is very interesting to see. I don't even trade Netflix because I'm kind of terrified of it right now because it doesn't honor the normal technicals. I'm really just waiting for the moving averages to catch up, which will probably happen sometime in October. October, I see having a much worse time in the market. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. Okay, back over here to Bitcoin. If you guys have any questions about Bitcoin or anything out there, just let me know. There's definitely a lot to talk about here, but it's just I mean, for heaven's sake, what a freaking crazy day we had here. 4-hour chart would be perfect for this one. Okay, there we go. Oh, and there we go right there as well. See, oh, you guys talking about the swing trades and stuff? Yeah, both SHIB and Dogecoin are great. I would probably say Dogecoin is probably going to pop before SHIB, just like what happened last time. But I would say SHIB is still something that's going to be worth holding on to. You know, I almost felt kind of stupid when I bought SHIB back in the day. You guys remember it was like the summer or something like that before it really took off. And I was like, people are talking about this Doge killer. There were a lot of SHIB, like, you know, promoting guys in the server or the stream, and they were like, you gotta buy SHIB, you gotta buy SHIB, you gotta buy SHIB. I was like, yeah, let me see it. I looked into it. I saw it was a meme token. I saw it was kind of in a few places. I was like, let me give it a shot. I'll put some money that I'm just going to hold, because at that point, the whole crypto market was going up crazy and SHIB was not doing anything. It was still going sideways. And then all of a sudden, it finally popped. But it took me like 2-3 months of waiting for it to pop, and it paid out a lot. And I still think the good thing for a lot of altcoins out here, like anything, not even just your Dogecoins, your SHIBs, you know, ADAs and Manics, the majority of coins are going to have beautiful pops next year. You just kind of have to have a decent average of like when you bought them. That's really the big thing, because the next cycle, you know, there's going to be another Dogecoin that pops up out of nowhere. It'll be something memeable. Everybody likes it again. Everybody's going to be going crazy over it. Yada, yada, yada. Dogecoin will probably reach $1 next time around, but you know, people aren't buying at 0.0024 or 0.002 or something like that now. They have to buy it, you know, at a nickel and so forth. So that profit isn't as the same. Same with SHIB, right? Or no, SHIB actually went back down to the levels it was before it popped. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to watch both of those play out. I'm excited to watch both of them too. Remember, my rules for buying tokens are pretty simple when it comes to like high risk tokens. It's usually a token I can imagine it getting onto a Webull or a Robinhood or something like that. And then I want it to be less than a penny, usually. And I want it to have a low market cap. Why less than a penny? Because people have these dreams that can hit $1, $10, $50. And so they go into their head, they do like, oh, I'm going to do the math in my head. Like, oh, I own 1 billion SHIB. What happens if SHIB just hits $1? I'm a billionaire. And so, you know, people do those things. And then when they do that, usually you're the person that's selling your SHIB to them in the height of the bull market, right? See it here. Let's see. When will Doge hit 13 cents? Hey, Hennessy Black. If Bitcoin doesn't flush here and we actually end up going to like $35,000, $40,000, there's a chance with some good news it hits it by the end of the year. Or it might even just go into Q1 of 2024. If Bitcoin does flush down here, you're probably going to see Dogecoin take a hit and probably start heading back down to the 4.5 cent range at least. CNN is a natural disaster. I mean, it's just not a good place to get your news, folks. I mean, I was watching with my mom at the hospital. She was like, hey, turn on the news. I want to see what's going on. And all they were talking about was Trump. Everything was Trump. his legal case stuff, and I was like, I don't care. What do you call it? I just don't think their priorities match up with regular priorities. Like, I kind of just want to make sure the economy is doing okay. I mean, for me personally, all I really care about is how the economy is doing. They didn't talk about it at all. All they talked about was Joe Biden doing some good stuff and Trump doing some bad stuff. I think they badmouthed Vivek Ramaswamy quite a bit. They were hammering him hard. They were, honestly, I was watching, like, I was more involved with my phone than what was going on CNN. But yeah, they don't have anything that makes you want to watch them, I guess you would say. I feel like they're just gaslighting people 24/7. It feels like they're gaslighting people. What I tend to watch if I want to find news, honestly, it's news sources like France 24, Al Jazeera. If I want something more liberal, Democracy Now! News, and that'll kind of give me more of the liberal twist to it. But I mean, I don't mind having the liberal twist as long as it's like coherent and decent and it's not stupid. CNN crosses into stupidity territory. I think that's what it is. I don't feel smart watching CNN. I feel like I'm very dumb, because the way they give me the news, it's so incomplete. It's not a complete picture. When you watch Al Jazeera or something like that, they'll have 40-minute segments talking about one topic. So they have all the experts there, and I myself as a viewer am learning from the liberal guy, the maybe the more independent guy, and the more conservative guy. I'm putting all that together to kind of give myself my own personal opinion. CNN, they may have a Republican here, a Democrat there, but it's like 5 minutes of pure mush. We're like, I think that's what the problem with CNN. Like if I go over here to my YouTube channel, not my YouTube channel, but just like my main page, look at France 24, pressure grows on Gabon's military junta to hand back power. I'm trying to play a video game, so I'm learning stuff there. Pakistan's electricity bills, cigar smoking, because I have my box of cigars over here. Starfield, because I got about the Starfield game. Not sure actually why I'm looking at World of Westeros stuff, but what do you call? I played 4 hours of Skulls and Bones. This is because I was looking at a video of his about another video game here. Here's the stuff we're looking at here. Rome, which is a show I watched on something else. Anime music, because I like listening to music videos. Lord of War, whatever. Vivek Ramaswamy, because I'm subscribed to his channel, I think, so I can post videos for you on shorts and stuff like that. France 24, condos in Ecuador, because I want to move down there. Value Entertainment, the podcast I watch to try to learn stuff. Other channels that have stuff like mine. But basically, it's this news is better than anything CNN has to offer. And like, let me see if I can right here. Like, how do I Al Jazeera? I don't know if I spelled that right. Like, if I went over there and I went to their videos and I find something about Gabon, because that's really all I care about right now. Lebanon, U.S. Capitol riot, hurricane, Singapore voting. That's actually interesting. I want to see what the Singapore election is about. Africa Union suspends Gabon's membership after military coup. Ecuador car bombing. I've been watching that a lot because I'm planning to move to Ecuador. Here it is. What does Gabon's coup mean regionally and internationally? That's a 28-minute video. I feel like I've actually learned something watching that type of stuff, right? I don't feel like I've learned anything watching CNN. I think they're trying to give us piecemeal stuff so they can post it on YouTube and TikTok and stuff. They're looking for those clicks. Al Jazeera is looking for clicks, but they're looking for clicks from the more sophisticated crowd, I think. The cigar smoking crowd, just joking. But, that's how I feel about CNN. It's just not, I don't feel like I'm learning anything. Like, and I want to be learning something about America, the economy, immigration, I don't know, something. Not just try to pull at emotional strings to make me angry or sad or mad. Or, it's not good, not good. All made MSM eco Pravda, yeah. Pravda, excuse me, yeah, definitely. Yeah, no worries, Ortiz. Happy to help you out with AMC the other day. AMC's definitely after that split, it's going to have some more volatility ahead, but hopefully, even though it broke down, it can still kind of save something there. Do I think we'll experience an official recession? I mean, I do, but honestly, guys, I've become very pessimistic of just everything involved the government. Because you remember, I think we always forget what happened last year. Let me go over here very fast. Trading economics. Delinquency data, not inflation data. What's that? GDP growth. Okay. Do you remember last year we actually had 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, and that was technically a recession? But you remember what happened? CNBC came out, Fox Business came out, Bloomberg came out, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. I think Fox News was kind of in the other camp, but it was like more, I would say more mixed at best. They all came in and said, oh, this really isn't a recession. I know the definition is 2 negative quarters of GDP growth, but this is really not a recession. And at that point, I was just like, you know how sometimes you just feel like you're crazy because you can like totally see something? Like, you know, I took economics classes in college. I'm like, it was ingrained in us, recession is 2 negative quarters in GDP growth. And then all of a sudden, you saw Wikipedia change the definition. You saw Investopedia change the definition. Then they changed it back after there was a backlash. But they changed the definitions, and everybody was like, they thought if they just changed the definitions, everybody would Google it, and all of a sudden it would people were like, oh, that's really what it meant. Okay, never mind. I was wrong, you know? But you know how paranoid people are already? People had already saved screenshots of what a recession is from like years ago, weeks ago, and they all posted it on Twitter and social media. And then, you know, that's not a good look for a company like an Investopedia or Wikipedia that should not be political at all, right? But they ended up being political. Now, if you go back and, you know, you just Google recession wiki, you know, recession. In economics, a recession is a business cycle contraction that occurs when there's a general decline in economic activity. Okay. In the United States, a recession is defined as a significant decline in economic activity spread across the market, lasting for more than a few months, normally visible in real GDP income, employment, industrial production, and wholesale retail sales. Oh, now they're saying in the European Union, the United Kingdom, a recession is defined as a negative economic growth for 2 consecutive quarters. That's how it's defined here. So actually, they changed it back. I view history. Oh, okay. This is too far away to go back, like 500. Oh, newest, oldest. There you go. 2005. Previous. Also, back in 2005, there's actually a different list. A recession is usually defined in macroeconomics as a fall of a country's gross national product in 3 consecutive quarters. That's actually kind of cool. That's where I like Wikipedia, because you can go back and see how they changed it. But you see how that was just how it kicked off? I mean, that's the very beginning. Not all the other stuff about the world and stuff. 3 consecutive quarters, okay? A sustained recession is known as economic depression, yada, yada, yada. So there you go. It actually used to be worth 3. Damn, I wonder... Times are definitely a little bit different here. Next edit. Three consecutive quarters. See. I want to see when it actually changed here. Depression. Okay, so let me go back over here to view history. Oldest. Oh, whoa, that's 2000. Oh, okay. Let me go back over here, maybe to 100. Yeah, the one back all the way from 2003, 2001. What is? Oh, yeah. See, in 2001, it was 2 successive quarters. I don't know how they changed this stuff up. Okay, I'm not. Yeah, you get what I'm saying, though, right? That's actually pretty interesting just to kind of see it like that. But yeah, it used to be very, very, very simple. They've been trying to muddy the waters until we get to the really blech thing we're seeing today. And it matters, right? It matters that people understand what a bad economy is like. I think that's why if you go over to the current administration, Biden, Biden economic approval, I guess. I don't know if there's like a list of polls. Let's just go to this first one. I guess a poll from the Associated Press of Newark Center of Public Affairs Research published Thursday found only 36% of people's percent of surveyed Americans approve of Biden's handling of the economy, right? That's not good, right? Regardless if you like Obama or Biden or not, it's just, you know, it's not good. And I think that goes to one of the questions I just saw a few seconds ago from Patrick. There you go. Thoughts on student loan repayment reinstated would affect the market and the economy and crypto? It's not going to help the overall economy at all. I would still say it's a big negative going forward with the economy. I'm hoping, this is where the hope comes in. I'm hoping that people not having enough money in their pocket will help lower inflation, thereby allowing the Fed to lower rates sooner, which can therefore maybe mitigate the severity of any upcoming recessions that might happen in 2024. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. Now, as far as student loans, I think they start next month, right? Again, but I think the interest starts accruing again this month. So if you guys have student loans, the interest is now building back on top of itself. And if you haven't been paying them off like a responsible good boys and girls, you may actually have still a big chunk of money to pay off here. And that money is not going to be going to the economy. Now, where has that money been going over the past couple years? You know, I would say maybe towards, you know, restaurants and downtown areas, bars, travel, maybe like I've been going to Vegas a lot. I don't have student loan, but you get my point. But how has the cruise ships been doing? Carnival Corporation. Weekly chart. Oh, they really never recovered after COVID, have they? They had some rallies, but they're just making lower lows and lower highs here. Yeah, they just never recovered. Is there any other cruise lines out there? I'm not really a cruiser. But you know, these guys are probably going to get slammed pretty hard. I'm trying to go on an Alaskan cruise. I'm pretty excited about it because I've never actually been on an Alaskan cruise or a cruise at all. Well, I've also been on a cruise, but like not like a formal big cruise. Some of those like smaller ones. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But you know, there's not going to be many millennials. It's like when I realized I first had a good amount of money and for where I live in Tacoma. I realized that a lot of people in Tacoma really don't have much money. They kind of live paycheck to paycheck because a lot of them live in Tacoma and they go up to work in Seattle because they get paid more, but it's still, you know, it's still a cost of living problem out here in Washington State, as you guys know. There's a reason why all us Western Coast states have a shit ton of homeless people. Let me take a sip of water here, guys. I'm about to cough from talking too much. Alright. So this is Tacoma. This is where I used to live. I live a little bit south of here now. A little bit more in the country where I feel more comfortable. Okay, so I used to live in this building right here. Okay. I think... No, none of those are my cars. No, they've updated it since then. Oh, I know who has that car, though. Well, maybe that is... No, that car's too old. So I used to go over here with a couple of friends, and there's like waterfronts over here, okay? So there's a little restaurant Northern Fish over here. There's another restaurant over here. Oh, that's the new... They're building art pieces across the beach. I don't understand it, but it's art. You're not supposed to understand it. Harbor Lights. You got Ram. I don't know. This place has been closed for a while. I'm friends with a guy who, my friend's parents own this place. It's a really good place, Ram Brewery. It's like the most, like kind of like your traditional family eatery restaurant. Nothing too fancy about it. Katie Downs, that place is good. I got high and watched something crazy there happen one time. Duke Seafood, that's a fire station, I think. The docks where I used to go fishing. And you got like, you know, lobster shop. That's a lawyer shop. That's a lawyer shop too. And you got this area over here where it's condos now, and you know, fish grill, Forelli's Pizza, Thai cuisine. I think that place closed down. It was nasty. Then there's now a hotel here with a nice little kitchen and stuff like that. So, and there's even some restaurants over here. Blah 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 blah. Oh, right here. There's an Italian place right here that's really good. Ma, whatever this place is. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's good. Okay, but so I used to go with my friend to a lot of these places back in the day, and you know what I noticed? Me and him were usually the only people eating there under 30. And I think since all the millennials have a lot more money these days because they're not paying back their bills and they're not paying back their student loans and stuff like that, and they just have more money because of what happened kind of with COVID and people getting paid more money, even though inflation's kind of taking it all away now. A lot of these places have revamped their menus for younger people. And because of that, they've really been having a younger crowd of the 25 to 35 year olds mixed in with those people over 50, 60, and 70 years old, which has been a very weird mix to see. So you've actually seen a lot of these restaurants split apart dining rooms with more loungy areas. So the younger people can kind of go over to this area, and the old people can kind of have their own little area, which is a lot nicer. They more commingle. You can see right here at the outside areas. Oh, I wish I had a picture to show you guys. The outside area of this is just so awesome. You get to see the water, you get to see seals while you eat. They got heated little towers there. It's awesome. I think the best example of this here, which I'm going to be very interested to see how it works out, is there's a restaurant that I like going to up here. It's on the hill. Oh, wow. I think I should know where this place is, but I guess I don't. Oh, there it is. Stanley and Seaforts. I was just here the other day getting some... getting drunk off of cocktails. I even Ubered to the place and know I was getting drunk. Can I not get a good picture of it here? Is that a picture place? Oh, okay. Let me just click on the place. All right, see how there's like a nice dining room area here? Right? Some older people, but they're taking their young kids here. I think that's the way to go, right? Old people take the younger kids out for a nice meal. Same picture. You got your nice food, you know, it's food. I had this. It was freaking amazing. It's like a herb crusted prime rib. It was really freaking good. But I tend to sit outside and look at the view because I enjoy it. It's like the city with the industry, and then get the water out there. But you see, this is the more loungy area. This is the more fun area, I would say, where you're not really you're not feeling uppity. And there's like all those old people here too. Younger people in the back, but you know, it's not all like 100% split up. Good food, but again, the view, right? This is where the trendy people eat. It's been pretty interesting to kind of watch the shift happen here. I wondered if you guys have seen a shift like this happen where restaurants that have been more old school, like only the wealthy can come up, there's a valet, you know, stuff like that. I wonder if you guys have noticed that they've trying to become more hip, more modern. I don't know the actual word for it. Because even the Stanley and Seaforts place, they just came up with a new menu here like a couple of days ago. Like, this is not the menu that I saw. This is an older menu. The menu I got was, is there a way to just go to the website? About menu, okay. Yeah, it's more like this, right? Now, have you ever seen a happy menu like this? Crispy sheets of peppers, where was it at? The drinks. $8 exotic mojito. It made my life complete. The botanical berry mule was also very good, and the rare and fancy old fashioned was pretty good. And you guys can also just get like premium spirits and stuff like that. I don't get premium spirits like this because I don't technically understand what they are, and I just never have the courage to ask the people at the, like, hey, what does a premium spirit mean? Does it mean I'm just getting a shot of Amsterdam vodka, or is it like sipping drinks? Because I don't sip tequila, I don't sip rum, I don't sip gin. I mean, you know, that type of stuff. Scotch I sip, but that seemed like the only one. Maybe bourbon. I don't really drink bourbon at restaurants, though. I need to drink it with a cigar or something to really get me going, which is why I only usually drink it in Vegas. And let's see right here. CNN is similar to Fox News, just different extremes. Yeah, it's very weird how they all try to do it, but they all try to gaslight you. I don't think Fox does it as much. I think they do it a little bit. I just haven't watched news in such long. I think they all really gaslight you into how do I say? I think they really just gaslight you into thinking that, hey, we're the only ones you can trust. I think that's where the gaslighting really comes into effect. And I think Fox and MSNBC are vastly better at it than CNN. Remember, CNN tried to court Republican voters a few months ago by having a Trump town hall with Kathleen. I'm thinking of maybe Star Wars. I think her name was Caitlin something. But she was very disingenuous during the debate or the town hall. She was trying to make it about her instead of the people that were at the town hall. You ask the people questions, right? Or the people ask the questions. And then I guess, Trump in his Trump fashion, he pulled out the receipts, so to speak. And I'm not saying Trump was right about everything in that little town hall, but he pulled out the receipts and called her out for lying or being disingenuous at best, right? And that just hurts. That hurts a company's credibility so much. It hurts it so much. So that type of stuff happens, and then you're like, uh-oh. But you don't see it happen too much on MSNBC. You don't see it happen too much on Fox. CNN isn't really run properly as a corporation, and they're not going to be run properly for a long time here. Remember, guys? Remember CNN Plus? Remember CNN Plus? That was an epic time. How much more will Chairman Powell raise rates? I thought he would have stopped already. I don't think he has a reason to raise them anymore. Now that he's talking about it a little bit more late, I will say, if anything, he raises them one more time. A concern that I have right now, and I talked about this, I believe, last week, is the inflation data. So you guys remember that what happened in July? We had that tick up. So you can see that beautiful trend going downwards because we were going up so fast, and it was just like, oh, well, everything was really bad in 2022. Well, look at this. End of 2022, we started to slow back down a little bit, slow back down, slow back down, slow back down. But what happened in July? Let me zoom in so you guys can see it. Oh, geez, this is probably not the way I wanted you guys to see it, but here you go. Right? there you go. It ticked up from 3 to 3.2. Well, what happened at that time? Okay, what happened with just that slight tick up? Well, this is a 15-minute chart. We're going to go to the daily chart. Well, in July, we saw that the dollar index bounced. Whoosh, and then we broke out. Bounce and break out. What do we see? Over here in July, right here, beginning of July, we saw the June. Okay, that is July. Sorry, my brain wasn't working. I got my contacts and not my regular glasses. We saw that boom. We saw a breakout happen with the price of oil. All of a sudden, a lot of shit started to happen here. You saw interest rates and the rates starting to do a lot of crazy stuff there. And so that had a profound effect on the way everybody was looking at the economy, where to put the money, the stock market, the crypto markets. It had a profound effect on a lot of stuff. Even going back over here to Bitcoin, right? Let's see where we at. Yeah, July is right here where we hit our high. And then after that, towards the end of July, woo, come back down, have a pop. Whoop. So it has an effect. I really, really hope that we see that the Bitcoin, that we see inflation tick back down. Even if it's not breaking back down below 3, if we're just ticking back down just ever so slightly, I'd feel more confident that the Fed is not going to have to raise rates. If the Fed has to raise rates one more time, like how are people going to be able to afford a house? It's already very unaffordable right now. Debt's going to be even worse because I think they said the average household has like $6,500 in debt. It'll cause a little bit of pain, and I think we're kind of all used to pain at this point. All you guys have to do is go to the gas station. All you guys have to do is go check out what the cost of a gallon of milk costs. It's it's not pretty. Let's just say that it's definitely not pretty here, but it's okay. Carnival Cruise, Royal Caribbean. Let's check out Royal Caribbean there. There you go. So how do Royal Caribbean cruises do monthly? Oh, they're doing a lot better than Carnival. So maybe it's just the cruise line. Maybe it's just the cruise line and how they're run. I mean, heaven's sakes, look at those drops, though. I mean, we're talking about $136. They lost 86% of their value. The next big crash that happened over here, 2022, they lost 65% of their value. I mean, if anything, I guess I'd be putting some long-term puts on this baby and just kind of waiting for them to print me some money. Wow, I mean, these drops are kind of crazy. I mean, no, who cares? It's expected these days. And Hades, yeah, I know. I've been trying to get new thumbnail picks and stuff like that. It's been working out pretty well. I need to do more of them and things like that. I think that one was used with a little bit of AI help to help me out because I don't like to wear suits normally. I really don't like to wear suits too often. I have a bunch of them. They're all nice and tailored and everything. Suits are for an event of some type. Heck, I don't even really wear this watch much anymore because I don't really need to. I wear it on the stream every now and again if I want to, but now I just kind of wear my rings. I'm thinking of getting a cuff here pretty soon, and that'll be my jewelry component to it. I need to. I was visiting my mom at the hospital today. She gets out tomorrow, so I'll be busy for a lot tomorrow. But you know how they give you these little sticker things? There you go. I hate having those on my hand. They just feel awkward and they kind of roll up on you and they tear up my my arm hairs, which are freaking deep. Let's see. What do I think about what's going on in Hawaii? As far as Hawaii, it's like a tragedy followed by conspiracy theories, but then you realize the conspiracy theories have a nugget of truth, and that nugget of truth is so bad that people like really like fuck Oprah. I think that's where it all kind of came to fuck Oprah. But you know, corporations are trying to take advantage of it and buy up their land. The government's really not doing too much to help them out right now. You have also happening in Washington, D.C. right now. I think they're trying to package the Hawaii money with Ukraine money, which is, why would Biden never do that? Just keep it separate, because you know Republicans are going to be all about helping people in Hawaii, but they're not going to be all about giving unlimited amounts of money to Ukraine. So just focus on what you know everybody wants to do, the compromise, and don't try to force them to vote for something they don't want to, because that just makes the recovery funds take that much longer to get to the people in Hawaii, which is like they lost everything. I don't know if you guys watch the videos and stuff like that. Most of you guys probably have at this point, but I mean, they were jumping in the ocean and just watching their houses burn from where they were just like floating in the dark. That must have been a terrifying scene for them. So nothing really good going on in Hawaii. My mom, my family just went on vacation over there, and they said it was lovely on the island that they were in. I think they were like Waikiki Beach or something. So they had a fun time there, but it was nowhere near where the fire was. So, government fucking things up again. I don't know. They should just separate the money from the Ukrainian money. It makes sense to me, but maybe it doesn't make sense to them. I'm not a foreign policy expert. I don't know what's going on as far as that money, but I'd rather just focus more on the Hawaii stuff first, get that out of the way, then have a frank discussion about what needs to be done with Ukraine funds and things of that nature. I miss spending $100 on groceries and buying everything I need for a week. Now I spend like $300 for the same amount and stuff. Yeah, no, it is kind of expensive, and it's probably only going to get more expensive for groceries to go down the road, because groceries are you kind of need them to live, don't you? Let's see right here. Somebody had something here. Oh, experts literally changed the definition of a recession so they can say we're not in a recession. Yeah, I mean, they did. But I mean, what does it mean that CNBC, Fox Business, Fox News, CNN, CNBC, Bloomberg, PBS NewsHour, the Associated Press, Washington Post, New York Times, I don't think the Wall Street Journal did it, which is good, but like, what does it mean that all of them did that and they thought it was okay? Right? It blows my mind that we did that, or that they did that. Because to be frank, I was ticked off that happened, but I was like, okay, there's nothing I can do. I can just say, hey, I think it's a recession. It may be a short, what did I say? It could be a very short recession. And it was a very short recession. I think it lasted technically for a year, because the 2 months that we were in the negative GDP growth and the 2 months we took to figure out that we were there, right? It was a recession. And I think if you ask people, let me see if I can figure this out here actually for you guys. Uh, oh, here's one from CNN. The title of this is fucking hilarious. Here's why 75% of likely voters think we are in a recession, okay? That's a poll, I guess, that 75% of likely voters think we're in a recession. And this is where the publicist puts her own twist into it, even though we're probably not. Like, you know, it drives you bonkers, I guess is the word for it, right? And I guess CNN Business has a thing too, but I don't look at CNN Business. I never in a million years would have really paid attention to that. But you get what I'm saying right here. Literally, I thought he would have stopped already, reminding me of that audio that says, all right, that's good, that's good, that's good. It's enough slack. Well, I mean, guys, there's something to be said about fiscal policy. You have to be patient. And to be honest about Jerome Powell, I would have been much more aggressive up front, but I think right now he's doing an okay job. And what I don't think I took into account as much when I was criticizing him last year, and I criticized him a lot, was the fact that he probably was thinking about how much money is Congress going to spend and how do I have to fix that? Because, you know, in hindsight, you guys remember how much money our government spent? Joe Biden so far, and remember, there's been no COVID during Joe Biden's presidency, except for like maybe the first few months, you know, then everybody got like really fed up and like, fuck these masks, right? What do you call it? They've been spending like wild, and Trump spent a lot too. He had to do with COVID, but he also did spend a lot in his term. Same with Obama, same with Bush. They've all been spending a lot, but what's that? Oh, no, that's debt to GDP. I just want debt. Oh, made the same mistake here. There you go. Look at that. January 2023. Bloop, 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 bloop. I mean, we just kind of keep on going. Let me probably, yeah, there you go. So 2000. Let's go back over the last 10 years. So you can see 2016. The move actually came before Trump, that big kind of pop right there. Let me see if I can kind of zoom in here a little bit for you guys. So I guess you might not say that wasn't Trump's fault necessarily, but you can see Trump, the debt grew underneath him, right? Grew in 2018. It kind of picked up a little bit more. I think this is where his tax cut came into place. We saw the debt go up, but we saw kind of economic prosperity rise. Kind of a weird trade-off, but it's what they decided to do. I don't really like it, but it's what they did. Okay, COVID. Big paparoonie right there. Okay, now at this point, Joe Biden is president kind of like right here, right? And then I don't think there's anything too crazy. We kind of keep on going at that same pace, right? We're going up and up and up and up. But, you know, it's kind of matching what we saw over the past like decade or so. There's nothing crazy there. All of a sudden, 2022, woo! Then we're going up, picking up steam again, woo! So, I mean, Jerome Powell, he has to try to mitigate some of that. And I think that's what I start to have, not a lot, but I do have sympathy for Jerome Powell because he has to deal with that. And I think he thought that if Biden saw the inflation coming up, and I think if he said, hey, Biden, like, you know, Biden, hey, we can't keep on spending this much money because it's going to get worse. But remember, Biden used inflation as a reason to spend more. And so we had the Inflation Reduction Act. And that was more stimulus into the economy, which made everything continue to rise. And if you were in Jerome Powell's shoes, how would you try to mitigate that? Because you know they're going to try to keep on spending money, right? They're going to keep on trying to spend more money. And a fun fact here for most of you guys that maybe you guys can appreciate, maybe some of you guys won't, I'm not entirely sure. You see where the market bottomed over here? November, January. that's when the Republicans won back the House, and they knew there wasn't going to be as much spending going forward. So it's a big jumbled mess, right? I'm kind of throwing around a lot of stuff that is correlated, but not the causation, so to speak. But, you know, there are some signals that say, hey, oh, not going to be spending as much money. You know, there we go. But that's where they passed all their bills back over here. You know, they, I guess more over here. They kind of had a stretch of bills, you know. They had a couple Democratic victories for them. So, you know, but that's where we bottomed out. When Republicans took back charge, things started to go back up because you just knew they weren't going to be spending as much money. And they haven't been spending as much, but the funds that were allocated, the money that was like voted in to like law, so to speak, that's now starting to be allocated, and that's where you see the debt start to go up. So, you know, fun times, yeah, you know, stuff like that. I don't know. Damn, I sound so pessimistic, don't I? But then I start spitting facts, and I'm like, I feel that at home when you pay more money for the same stuff, yeah. But Mike Biden can't even find the Oval Office, let alone Ukraine money or Hawaii money. What do you call? And hey, hey Delilah, happy to see you back. What do you call? It's okay. Like, I know Biden has mental health issues right now. There's something going wrong with him. I understand that. But as a country, I guess we just kind of have to understand that and deal with it. I've seen his issues speaking and things of that nature. I understand he's not a young old person. He's an old person. I guess you could say Donald Trump is a young old person, but Donald Trump's no spry chicken either. But he has the ability he has energy. You know, macho man. I don't know, but he has that oomph to him. I think yeah, I mean, yeah, he definitely is sliding a little bit. It is kind of sad to see, to be honest, because, you know, he fell asleep during a big important meeting with another country's leader. He fell asleep during it. I mean, that's not something you want to see your leader do. But the system itself doesn't really give us many good candidates. Remember, Trump got in not because the Republicans wanted him, and he fucking torched the RNC. He left it in flames. And now the RNC like submits to his will because he crushed it and rebuilt it in his own image. Like, hey, you're mine now. You know, I'm about to end the stream here pretty soon, but I'll leave you guys off on this. Remember that Joe Biden almost didn't win the primary. Bernie Sanders was supposed to win the primary. He had more people voting for him in the primaries. He was doing very good. But you remember what happened? All within a week, when the Democratic establishment realized that, hey, Bernie Sanders might actually win the nomination for the Democratic Party, what happened? Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, all of them, all the people running, there was a lot of them, they all suspended their campaigns because they technically never end them. They suspend their campaigns, and then they implored everybody to go vote for Joe Biden. And then it was a one-on-one match versus Joe Biden versus Bernie Sanders. The establishment has that power to make it all happen. Both sides have establishments. Bernie Sanders was not savvy enough to destroy the DNC's system. Trump was somehow, because I say it was like, it's crazy that he was able to do it, somehow smashed up the Republican one. But I don't think the Republican one is nearly as powerful as the Democratic one. The Democratic one comes from old school elite families and stuff like that when it comes to cities and stuff like that. Republicans have a lot of old families on themselves with them as well, but I've always felt like Democrats, there's more influence and power because they have the social media giants and stuff like that. Republicans, if they have money, it's more of old money. It's not so much new money, if that makes sense. They don't have the businesses to back it up. I guess they got Fox News, but I mean, Fox News can only take you so far these days. I think people understand that now. Big banks own Biden government. Dude, big banks own everybody. Big banks own a lot of people. Trump is made of McDonald's, KFC, and U.S. steak. He's got unlimited power from it. The fact that he likes his soda so much, I think, was always just hilarious. But I mean, we'll see, guys. I mean, there's a crazy election coming on here pretty soon. I think we're all going to enjoy watching it, to be frank. You know, that's more in 2024, 2023, and going into 2024, we get to see Sam Bankman-Fried. That's gonna be the fun times ahead. That's gonna be the really fun times, everybody. Like I'm gonna be streaming that from morning till night. The Trump trial, I think, has just been announced. It's gonna be televised as well. I'm gonna be streaming that for you guys as well. You guys can hate it. You guys can give your opinions. You can be pro-Trump, anti-Trump. I don't give a flying. You know what? Just have fun enjoying it. Learn from it if you want to. I don't know if anybody's gonna learn anything from that trial, but you know, it will just kind of watch it and see what's happening. And you know, then we'll kind of at the end of the day we'll kind of just go over our normal crypto stuff, which will be fine. But I'm very excited to kind of watch all this stuff unfold over the next year or so. It's gonna be dramatic, and I think it's gonna be something else, right? Biden blast. I don't know what that even means. I don't know. It's just gonna be such a crazy time, guys. But okay, it's 11 o'clock my time. I hope you guys all have a good night. I have to go make some dinner for my sister because I really don't have much food in the house, except for leftovers. And I ordered some Instacart, which I think is upstairs. But I actually have to find a way to make food because I'm hungry. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your weekend. I will be live for members on Sunday. I will not be live tomorrow because my mother's coming back from the hospital. I honestly don't know how long that's going to take or how much work I'm going to have to do to kind of help her out a little bit because she might have to go to dialysis and do a bunch of stuff tomorrow as well. So have a great rest of your night, and I hope you guys are going to have a fun time watching. I know you will, Tony. All this stuff going on with Trump, Biden. Maybe we might even have a debate with the other Kennedy guy. And then, of course, Sam Bankman-Fried, which is going to be the best one for me. Sam Bankman-Fried is going to be better than everything combined. Have a good night, everybody.